Hello, my friends, and now we're going to talk English, right?
Yeah, it will be interview in English.
English version about astrology. And now with me is Anna, right?
Right.
A professional astrologist
Yeah.
or astrologer. Anna, can you please tell us about astrology? What is it? And why do we need to know about this science?
Astrology is it means that, like, for example, he wants to buy a car. How it will work? He will really want to buy this car. It will be like unnormal feelings, like I really want. And if this person this time will buy this car, it will be the car with like damages, or he will like overpay for this car, something like that. And on the goods, that experience, which I know she would like to get. So it means that we already know our destiny. That's why we have this intuition. Like we kind of know something, but we don't understand. Like we don't realize how it works really. But anyways, like the matrix is an amazing one. Like sometimes we just don't see it, but it doesn't mean that it's not exist. It doesn't exist, right?
Anya, and how can we use this type of information, astrology, to achieve your vision of success much more faster?
Yeah, this is actually, then we have to ask, what is the success for you?
Right.
The happy person is not who has a lot. The happy person is the person who has enough. We don't need a lot. We don't need enough. But what is enough then? So every person has the structure. Have different parts of our like energy bodies. I mean, like we have our health, and this is our first temple. So we have to take care of our health. Also have in Russia a proverb, like in a half body, half spirit. It means that first of all we have to take care about our body. If we don't do it, we can't say that we are highly spiritual like person.
And how many temples do we have? Is our body our first temple?
Yeah.
What are the different ones?
Our mind definitely is a temple. Like what kind of thoughts you put there. Like actually you can't control your thoughts. You can't do it. And I highly recommend don't try to control your thoughts. But you need to control your mood and your focus. Because you will always have a lot of thoughts. You just need to be focused on something which make you happy. Like, I don't know, like even if you have biggest problem in your life, even a small focus on it will give you much more problems and headache, right?
Yeah.
So you just have to focus on something which make you happy every moment. And of course, our heart, which is the most important thing, like our base, like in our world, people mostly stuck here in mind. Well, they make decisions. They more like develop our like left side, like logical side of the person. So we have to go to here, like to the heart. Actually, this topic, like I travel pretty much, and I see how in the Western culture, like Americans, Europeans, they have a lot of changes between man and woman, for example, right? Like the roles are switched, and it's very fiercely sometimes. And that happens because sometimes people just go through the mind, not through the heart. And a lot of manipulations in this world also, they try to make the person on the very like they have, like the person has some doubts, but he thinks like, okay, if all people say that, probably they're right. Actually, I just back to Moscow and I went to some documentary movie about mind, how it works, about our brain, and they made very cool experiment like they took kids. It's like, I don't know, like 5 kids, and they made for them a tea, just a cup of tea, and for 4 kids they put a lot of sugar, a little bit lemon, and for one they put just no sugar and lemon, a lot of lemon. So, and they just put like, it was like the line of the kids, and that kid which had like no sugar tea was an ant. So, and they started to ask one by one, like, is it sweet? At first I like, yes, it is very sweet, that's nice. Second, yeah, it is sweet, like. And the 5th, like, I don't remember, I think it was y'all, and she said like, yeah, it is sweet. And they asked like, can you repeat it please, like louder? And she said like, yeah, it is sweet, but it wasn't sweet, you know? This is how our brain works. Like, we are like, we really depend on our people around, on our government, on like social position, environment. So it's quite like, that's why we must have like critical mind sometimes. And even in astrology, like, you think that I just started to do astrology and I was like completely believe in everything? No. When I came there, and a professor, he just like spoke a lot of, like, told a lot of things, and I was like, that sounds really interesting. And if it will be like that, I want to use it. But first of all, I have to try it, to check it by myself. And I decided, okay, if I will try, and if it will work with this way, I will create like a system and I will help people with that. I really tried, I really checked, and it works. So for me, it wasn't any doubts. Like every time, I just saw how it works. And at the beginning, for example, it was like in my young age. I can say that I am right now in my old age, but still younger, much younger. So I was like, okay, for example, compatibility with 2 people, like love or business. That time when I saw some like bad things, I thought, hey, I do astrology, I understand how it works, I can handle it like anyways. And I just could ignore something. I saw that's bad, but I like the person like really face to face, why not? But after that, I always realized that these like advices are really, really good, and I should follow them. And like later, when I started to use it for business stuff, for business compatibility, and when it was like really big projects and have to check it somehow, and sometimes I also ignore that, like that time, and I had a lot of problems after that. So right now, for example, I know exactly how it works, and I don't ignore it, because I know that this ignorance right now will cost me much more than just to be relaxed a little bit.
Anya, can you please give a couple of recommendations to our viewers, to our followers in social media, Facebook, Instagram as well? What can they start from? What kind of information do they need to find, or do they need to find a good professional in astrology? Is it necessary, or it's not necessary for everyone?
In my opinion, astrology is very important for anyone. But of course, if you have this, like these feelings that you can't do it by yourself, you should just start to learn. Because anyways, it just make your world wider. If at some point you will feel that it's too much, you can always use some like person who can help you, some astrologist, professional astrologist. Of course, I have some courses. I have it in Russian right now. Maybe if it will be a big group in English, I will start to do it in English also. Right now, I don't have any English groups. But the system which I use, for example, is a very unique system. It was created by Pavel, which is a Russian professor, and he is a follower of another Russian professor. His name is Vronsky. He's just an amazing person.
Do you know both of them personally? Are they
Vronsky
your mentors, or
is died? It's impossible.
through their books? You know.
Yeah. Like he has some also like videos like from the old age. He actually worked even with Stalin, and he in his books he told how he helped to Stalin, and basically it was more like astrological war. You know, like one astrologist tried to be faster than another astrologist. It's kind of, it was even very funny to read it. So my recommendation, the first thing is to be consciousness, like to have these questions: why I do this and why I do that, and just try to start from some easy astrological information. Try to learn different planets, like not only about sun, because sun is about our selfishness, like our ego, our way, like our view on the world. And for example, Moon is about our soul, is about our emotional stuff. It's very important. So each planet has her own like part. And of course, after you can come to any astrologist to consultation, but be sure please that this is a good one, because astrologists, like as all people, it could be good and bad people. So an astrologist, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that if the person does astrology, he is a good one. No. The same thing about like vegetarian stuff. Right now it's like a trend, like a big one. So I'm a vegetarian. I think it's very good, like for your body, for your like
mind.
Yeah, mind, right? Yeah,
Energy
spiritual
level.
stuff, right? But I definitely can say that if the person don't eat meat, it's definitely like a good person. No, it can be also like has very like low vibrations, like bad vibrations, because we can't do this judgment only based on this. That's why it's very important to find the person who you like as a doctor. It's the same thing. There's the first step. Please be consciousness. Try to understand why it happens, for what it happens. Try to find this, and also don't tackle problems inside. Work more on relationships with your parents, because our parents are our base. It is very important. Like all our problems came from the parents. So if you just ignore it, if you don't put enough attention on it, you will always have this, I forgot how to say it in English, patolog. Like you'll have like the limit, here. So it's quite important. This is probably, you just start from your parents, from a relationship. That will be the perfect start.
Thank you, Anya. We continued
Thank you,
talking
Pavel.
with you after the video, but it was very nice to have this kind of conversation. And I'm sure our followers, our viewers who just listened and watched our interview got a lot of value from your thoughts, your recommendations,
I hope so,
and
guys.
your experience, because it's amazing to know more about astrology. It's my own experience. We talk a lot with you about all of this stuff, and it's amazing how it works. I don't understand how it works, but it's amazing.
Come to my classes. I will show it more deeply.
Thank you, Anya. Talk to you very soon. And dear friends, if you have any questions, please send a message to Anya, Anya's personal email.
Hi.